So, after the davening, after the praying, I go up to Chaim Grossbaum, Rabbi Chaim Grossbaum of Stony Brook, Long Island, who was my shaliach there when I lived on Long Island. And I went up to him and I said, Ari Fleischer said I need a message, and Eli Wiesel said that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that's the message I should get. What's the message of the Lubavitcher Rebbe? And this is one of the reasons I love Chabad. Okay, you say that to anybody else in the free world, they look at you like... My old shul, they'd have to vote to see if they can take a vote. They wouldn't even know. They wouldn't know. A Chabad rabbi looks at that and hears it and says, let's find out. And goes off. Okay? It's not only setting up the chairs, but it's also repairing the entire world. Everything a Chabad rabbi does. So he brings me to his office and he says, who are we going to ask? Who are we going to find out what to do? He says, we have to find somebody that knows the messages of the Rebbe and what the Rebbe thought about Israel and his sichos and his maimar, all the different things the Rebbe said. And somebody who understands Washington and publicity and public relations. And he came up with one name. Rabbi Avram Shem Tov. Happens to be the father of the rabbi who was at the Mashgiach of the White House, if you're keeping track of the Chabad rabbis in this. So, we get him on the phone, and he knew the whole story. He knew everything that was going on with it, very in tune with it. And it's been a few years, and I've studied more about some of the teachings of the Rebbe, and he was, as they say in Australia, spot on. He was very clear. And he gave me a message. And because all of us have gathered here to be inspired 25 years of what the Rebbe did by his emissaries, okay? And we've gathered together for this moment in our lives, and we're sharing this hashgacha pratis, this divine providence moment in our life all together. And because I survived the Denver toilet incident on the plane 3 weeks ago, I'm here able to give you a message. He said like this: if you have a friend and your friend goes away for a year, is he still your friend? Sure. If you don't see your friend for 4 years, he goes to college, is he still your friend? Sure, of course he is. But as we get older, you could say, but if you haven't seen your friend in 50 years, is it still your friend? Not so much, 50 years, I don't know. But if you have a child, your child goes away for a year, is it still your child? Of course. The child goes away for 4 years, is it still your child? You don't see your child for 4 years? Of course. Of course it's my child. But if chas v'shalom chalila v'chas, God forbid, I don't want to think of the circumstances, don't even toy with the circumstances. But if, just as an example, if a person doesn't see their child for 50 years, is it still their child? Of course it is. He said, we are not the friends of Israel. We are Bnei Yisrael. We are the children of Israel. And sometimes the children are away for 50 years in North America, and sometimes they're away for 2,000 years in diaspora in the Gullus, and sometimes they're away for 4 years in Auschwitz. But the children of Israel and the land of Israel, they're home. It's God-given. And that's the relationship. They exist because of each other. That's the relationship. And with this woman, and people like her are saying, why are they even there? What's their relationship? They have no relationship. Why are they even there? Don't even know why they're there. It's children and their home, a God-given home. 2 days later, I'm on CNN live. Sunday morning, reliable sources, Howard Kurtz, I'm sitting there in the chair, all patched up, all ready to go. Live television, my son's in the corner hiding with his friend who shouldn't be allowed in public places. I'm like, okay, quiet, there's no talking. I got my business face on. Okay, I know you got your business face, but I got my business face. Stop with the business, don't even talk. But I got enough to worry about, you know. Howard Kurtz asks me the first question. I have absolutely no idea what the question was, but I know the answer. The children of Israel and the land of Israel are one, and they exist because of each other. It's God-given. And he asked me the second question, and all I know is I answered by saying, did I mention? After that, my son and I drove across the United States, asking everybody from Jackie Mason to the head of the White Aryan race to the Grand Dragon of the KKK to a game show on the streets of Las Vegas. We made a film called 3,000 Miles, which premiered at the Simon Wiesenthal Center Museum of Tolerance last year. But before we edited it, we flew back to New York. And in New York, waiting for me at home, was a letter. And pardon me, I know when I'm on college campus, I have to stop and explain what a letter is. It's paper, then you lick it, there's a stamp, I know. It's a different world. Okay. So they always say to me, I'll let you, you go like this? No, you don't push it. You just don't rip it over. I love you guys. So there was a letter, and the letter was from Yale University to me, asking me to be the keynote speaker at the Yale University Global Symposium on Anti-Semitism. So the first thing I did was I called my mother. I said, Mom, remember when Yale didn't accept me to college? Now they want me to teach. So I called up Yale and I told them I'm putting them on a waiting list. So I very graciously accepted, and I went there. There was a huge, one of those huge, amphitheater type of things. Actually, before I even got in the room, sometimes things happen in the hallway, in the lobby, even before you get in the room, that's even more interesting. So I'm in the lobby waiting to come in the room, and this guy comes running up to me and says, "Are you Rabbi Nesenoff?" I said, yes, I am. He said, "I thought that was just what it's me." He says, "I admire what you did." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." He says, "But my wife, not so much." "Okay, your wife likes Helen Thomas?" So nothing to do with Helen Thomas. 5 years ago, you officiated at our wedding. So, again, the college students have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyone married for 2 days is like, oh, that's so fun. So I get inside the room. I'm sitting up there like a bar mitzvah boy. Charles Asher Small, prominent professor on anti-Semitic studies at Yale University, chairman of the symposium. He gets up there and he says, "Before I introduce our keynote speaker, I want to tell you exactly why I chose him to be the keynote speaker." And I was really interested to find out. He said, "I never watched television. I was watching television on a Sunday morning at my parents' house. They had the television on, and I saw this rabbi. I only heard him say one sentence. And then he went like this: the children of Israel and the land of Israel are one, and they exist because of each other. It's their home. It's God-given." He said, "Something came over me." Battery's gone. He said, "Something came over me when I heard that sentence. And I had to have him come here and say that sentence. Because that's what it's all about." I got up there and realized, wow, I had 2 sets of speeches. I threw them both out. And that was the first time I gave the understanding, but don't worry about the microphone. It was the first time I didn't make me the shots. I didn't as long as we get some good children there. So that was the first time I told the story of how the Lubavitcher Rebbe gave me a message. And it was a message that hit even the professor watching on television through CNN. And I've gone around the world telling the story, and the Rebbe cut through all of it. It's not about the settlements, or 67, or 48, or the United Nations, or Truman, or Dreyfus, or Herzl. It's about children and their home. When we start there, we can end someplace that works out. You have to start there. And I was guilty. I was always running around saying, "Don't tell the God story. Don't tell the God story." But you know what? While we're not telling the God story, other people are telling the God story. You know, UNESCO, United Nations Educational SCO. I taught at Yale. They declared Kever Rachel, the tomb of Rachel. The Jews have been going for thousands and thousands of years. She died along the road. They declared it a mosque officially.